let me talk a little bit about Welcome Week. Now, through the summer, you're going to be engaged by a student leader team called our Orientation Ambassadors. And actually, one of the leaders on the call, Amber Oakley. Good morning, Amber. She's one of our Orientation Ambassadors as well. So she and students like her are going to be reaching out to you to engage with you throughout the fall to prepare you for our Clemson Welcome Week. So what that consists of is new student move-in, which right now is scheduled for between August 10th and August 12th. In-person orientation, which is August 13th through the 15th. And Welcome Week events and traditions are going to be happening throughout that entire time, all the way up until when classes start. So you're going to learn more about Welcome Week, both in the virtual orientation that you go through and from our students like Amber, who are going to be reaching out to you this summer to engage with you. That is a very brief and broad overview of what to expect, but it's really going to be pretty simple, and it's going to make sense and hopefully very linear to get you through and to teach you what you need to know. Clemson.edu/orientation is our website. It is up to date, and most questions can be answered there. But if you have other questions, I would encourage you to reach out to orientation@clemson.edu. Send us an email. Myself, a couple other professionals monitor that constantly. So we encourage you to reach out and ask any questions, and we'll respond just as quickly as possible. We are excited to have you here. I think it's a very exciting time. If there's anything we can do as a student transitions team to help you transition through this summer and into university, please reach out. This is a great institution, and we're excited to have you here. So I do think we have a few minutes, if appropriate still, to field some questions. Again, if someone from the PeerWise team doesn't mind kind of monitoring that and give me some questions, I'll take a few and then turn the time back over.
I have one in the chat for you. It says, will students who are planning on rushing have a sooner move-in date than August the 10th through the 12th?
Great question. Thank you, Lisa. So students who are interested in fraternity and sorority life, we work very closely with that office. In a normal year, you would move in early to participate in specifically sorority recruitment. This year, because we're doing things a little bit different with Welcome Week, August 10th is the earliest move-in day for any student. Fraternity and sorority life processes will actually take place in the weeks just after classes start. And we will be sharing information in virtual orientation about that. And I know the FSL office will be reaching out to students to share information too. But no, August 10th through 12th is the move-in dates. No early move-in for that because it's going to take place later.
Next question. Are there first-year engineering classes that are hard to get into because they are space limited?
So the classes where there's space limitations, we work really hard, as I mentioned, to try to space those out to make sure that no matter when you come through orientation and sign up for classes, you have equal shot to get those. There are classes that fill up, but our advisors, when you register for courses in the fall, you will be on a call with an advisor in that moment. They will help you. We have registration coordinators who look at schedules and rearrange things, and they work really hard to get you the schedule that you need. Now, notice I said the schedule you need, not the schedule you want. A lot of times students end up with an 8 a.m. class their first semester, or a course they didn't necessarily intend to take maybe until next, the second semester. We always make sure you leave with the courses you need to progress toward graduation and enough hours to make you full-time. It just may be a little bit different than your plan. So we do have a really great process, and there's literally dozens of advisors on standby when you're registering. So I wouldn't worry too much, and you're going to walk through that this summer with them to make sure you're prepared.
Another question for you, Glenn, is do you know about the band camp?
I know a little bit about the band camp. So Mark Speed and I have been talking about what band camp looks like. What we're going to do is we're going to communicate with Dr. Speed and the band members, those big important pieces of orientation, and he's going to send all those first-year students to us to participate so you can still be a part of these orientation experiences. The rest of the time, you're going to be with the band, and we understand that the band is important, and that's going to be a great experience for you as well. So come prepared to be busy, but we do work with Dr. Speed to make sure you don't miss anything you absolutely need to see. These are great questions, you all.
Any other questions? Don't be afraid, because that's what we're here for. I have one.
Okay.
It says, do honor students have priority registration?
Great question. So here's how honor students, here's how it's going to work this summer. We do give priority registration to honor students, but what that means is there's going to be 6 specific registration time blocks that we're going to ask you to sign up for. So you just need to choose one of those, and we block off a number of seats in each of those so that honor students can get into one of those dates. Around June 1st, we're going to close those honors, and you can sign up for any. But if you're able to sign up and you get in one of those 6 honors registration blocks, you will essentially register at the very first time of the day. So you'll be part of the first group to register that day, along with some of our student athletes and a couple of other groups, our student veterans, a couple of other groups that we work with. But you will have priority advising as long as you are able to sign up for orientation before around June 1st.
Do you know when housing is going to open up? And how do you sign up for housing suites?
Oh, great question. The housing website just got updated and is fantastic. I do know that in May, the housing process opens for you to do 2 things. 1, you're going to choose your housing for fall, permanent housing for fall whenever you live on campus. And 2, you're going to sign up for which date of move-in in August that you're going to come. So you'll be able to choose 10th, 11th, 12th, as well as signing up for your overall housing. They've decided to package it together. I don't have a specific date yet. I don't think they've chosen a specific date, but it'll happen around the same time as orientation sign up, sometime in that early to middle part of May is what I'm hearing right now.
Is there a parent orientation or a role for parents?
Oh, I love these questions. This is something I probably should have covered in my presentation. Good job, you all. So our parents and families, we put a lot of time and effort into. There's going to be several things happening. We are trying our best with this new virtual orientation platform, which will deliver content. We're trying to get what's essentially a guest user login, so our parents and families can go in and experience the content that we're giving students to prepare them for campus. They can go through and learn about the resources the same way students can. Throughout the summer, Amber and other orientation ambassadors are going to be doing live sessions to be able to have parents come on and we talk through specific things with them. We have presenters from around campus, a lot like this meeting, where we just have a lot of resources come and talk to them. And then in August, what we're going to do is on the day that the parent and family student moves in, let's say they move in on August 11th, that evening, once you're all done moving in, that evening will be an in-person parent and family only orientation session. We're going to bring you into the basketball arena, let you hear from our dean of students, hopefully our chief of police, and several other people, and be able to share with you additional things and really get you connected before you head back home.
I think the other one that someone asked about, do we sign up for the Peerwise experience? Yes, we will be sending out the brochure and everything to those who are interested. And we have right now 50 slots. So which we'll get those 50 slots. There are scholarships for full, so don't let the cost of, I think it's $1,095, let you deter you from not applying, because we do have full scholarships that takes care of all 3 weeks. But I will send that out. The list of students who are on this call, we'll make sure that you get that brochure and flyer ASAP. And sorry if I missed it. Is the plan to be in person in the fall? It is correct. We are going to be there in the fall, right?
Right now we're planning for an in-person experience in the fall. Yes. Yes.
The PWE begins on July the 7th through the 30th for the 3 weeks.
And Lisa, I think that is my time. So I do want to thank everyone for learning a little bit about orientation. Please reach out to us if you have questions, and we will see you soon. All right.
How about mentors? You share your favorite part of Peer or Wise and what it's been like to be both a mentee and a mentor.
Well, hi first. I'm Kanita Johnson. So I'm from Hollywood, South Carolina, and I'm in chemical engineering. So I'm in my last semester of my time here at Clemson. So I'm just going to share a little bit more about my mentor. I got a mentor just like how you guys would get one if you came to Clemson. And his name was Trey. So actually, he was a mechanical engineer. So we did not have the same exact major. But I think my favorite part about having him as a mentor is simply just basically he was like the person that he always shared his own experiences. And I think that's the biggest thing you get from having a student mentor is that they're able to share, when they have a bad test or their study habits, resources that they've found, or, for my mentor, he introduced me to, a lot of the people that were in PRY. So even if you don't have a mentor that's necessarily the same major, they can just offer you good experience, good advice. And really you just learn through them, and then they also learn through teaching you as well. So that's something I also benefit from my mentees as well.
Something that I found really valuable from my parent-wise experience is that even if I had the opposite experience as Kanita, actually. My mentor was a chemical engineer and I'm a mechanical engineer. But even though she couldn't really help me with my major specifically, you come in as a general engineer anyway, and she did go through her first year as a general engineer. So whatever experience you're going through in the College of Science and Engineering, your mentor has already gone through, which I thought was very valuable.
Quadro, McKenna, Ola, would you like to add anything to that? Because I know the mentors, they also work with you about time management, because you feel like you have, you might have a Monday, Wednesday class and you feel like, oh, I don't have any homework. Well, as an engineering student, I'm sure they can attest, there's always something to do. There's always work, and they'll tell you about a class called MATLAB and SolidWorks that we hear so much about. And you see them nodding these are some courses some work that just about all the engineering do. So they can tell you about that, because I think one year they had to create a pencil sharpener, they had to do an egg beater. So they can tell you a lot about that. And this happens in your first year.
Yeah, I would definitely say the big thing for me is that there's power in numbers. So it's harder to run a race if you're the only person running. If there's people around you, like they're pushing you to go in the direction you want to go, right? So the same thing, having a mentor, having someone who says, like, when you're struggling, they're like, I've done this already, no big deal. I think it really helps a lot, and it really helps with just having the motivation to keep going and to see your friends. When everyone is struggling with physics, it's not that bad, but when it's just you, then you feel bad. So, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like having that group environment with your peers and with the mentor just really helps you to just see another day every time. So
whenever we were in person, you would see all the tables were filled and everybody was working together. So you're really not alone in the struggle with your classes, and you get to meet a lot of other mentees and mentors, and create a lot of friends through tutoring as well.
Can you tell us about the accommodations in the department? Daniel, which accommodation are you talking about? The special accommodations or the PRY's office? What we have is we're located at 158 Freeman Hall, right beside the Chick-fil-A. That's the good part. You can go right next door if you're wanting a quick lunch, but you can come right next door, and we have a study hall during the day. And sometimes you can meet your mentor in there. You can do study with them, those type things. And then across the hall is where we are, and that's our offices, where you can come and talk to, if you want to chat or you have something you want to talk about. If you just wanted to say, pop in and say hello, we love that, because that's what we're here for. That a lot of times my students, they can attest, I'm standing up while they need to print something out. They're saying, Miss Lisa, can we print this out? Or they're just in the office chatting and sharing lunches and just taking care of each other. I've seen them come in, I don't know how to do this problem. I'm in the hallway yelling, does anybody know how to do this work? And we thought, yeah, we got one. So we're always making sure that you have what you need, because in our area, all of us, we're family. We take care of each other. we have a whiteboard in the back. They work those calc problems out step by step. If it's, especially during the day and the tutoring has not started. So they'll come across there, and usually it is someone in there that can do those problems who are very familiar with it. So it's like a home away from home. Now, let me tell you, you might during finals week, you might see somebody taking a nap, the whole couch back there, just, so it's just a good place to be and let you know that we're here for you.
McKenna, I saw that you unmuted yourself. You want to share your bit too?
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of wrap up and say that your mentor is, of course, there to help you academically, but they will also be there to help you with things outside of just the classroom. So anything that you have going on personally, mentally, they're really just there to help in all facets of life during your freshman year to help make that transition easier for you.
Alrighty, as Jennifer gets set up to join us, I just want to reiterate the fabulous family that we've built here. Kanita talks about her mentor, right? And now he's graduated and she's a senior, and she's leading first year students. And I think examples that I really love to hear about of our students sharing is Trey is a phenomenal cook, and he would cook for his mentees, and Kanitra is also a fabulous cook. So, that kind of love and that joy, that family community, it shows up in this family, which is really kind of special. So Jennifer, you just let me know when you're ready and I will stop sharing and give you access.
Okay, so my name is Jennifer Gorey, and I am the Director of Healthy Campus, which is part of Student Health Services. And I'm just going to talk with you a little bit about what we have to offer at the health center. So we are located right on campus, right in the center of campus, and easy access, which is super helpful if you need healthcare or counseling and psychological services or the pharmacy. So it's very centrally located. Little bit about the COVID-19 emergency. We have been and will continue to operate under modified operations throughout the time that students are taking classes online. But that is, changing, and I think things will be quite different in the fall. But the best way to know the latest about COVID-19 is to check out the COVID-19 page on the main Clemson website. So our mission is to provide quality health care, mental health care, public health leadership, and initiatives that enhance the academic success of our students, as well as promote health, safety, and well-being of the campus community. We are an integrated outpatient facility. We have 3 different divisions with more than 90 healthcare professionals. We have medical services, counseling and psychological services, as well as Healthy Campus, as I mentioned before. We are accredited by the Joint Commission, which means we have the highest standards for patient safety and quality of care. And we're the only student health center accredited by the Joint Commission in Carolina. So you can be rest assured that we are a top quality institution. Our hours of operation are 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday, and on Wednesdays we open at 9, and we're closed for the university holidays. Let's see, I've got a chat here. All right. So for appointments, you can schedule your appointments online, you can call, or you can walk in for an urgent concern. For counseling and psychological services, you can call 656-2451, or you can walk in for your initial assessment between 10 and 2:30, Monday through Friday. Parking is always a challenge on campus, but the good news about Redfern is we have a number of spaces that are available that are designated only for patients or clients accessing services. So if you have a parking sticker on your car, you can park in those designated spaces and alert the people when you arrive about the fact that you're parked there, and you can park there without worrying about getting a ticket. If there are no parking spaces available, you can get a permit from Redfern to park at any vacant employee space, not handicap or service vehicles or carpool spaces, but any just regular employee spaces. And you can park in any vacant metered space. We have My Health E, which is a secure online health portal where you can schedule and cancel appointments. You can upload your insurance and immunization records and sign up for text message appointment reminders. You can communicate with certain providers and staff through secure messaging through the My Health E portal. So it's a great way to access healthcare. You can complete your online health questionnaires and forms and surveys and view and print bills, and also pay for outstanding balances through the Clemson University Marketplace. And you can update your personal profile as well. So for medical care, we have the medical clinic, we have the nurses clinic, we have our own laboratory, we have our own radiology department, our own pharmacy, and our own specific women's health. So we really do offer a lot for a college health center. We do allergy and immunizations. We have a sports medicine clinic, and we also do a travel clinic for those who might be studying abroad. Insurance and billing, we have a health fee that you pay as part of your tuition. Certain items are covered and certain items are not covered. So for the health fee, your visits with physicians, nurse practitioners, oops, let me go back. And health promotion professionals are no additional cost. That's part of what you get for your health fee. Visits with counseling and psychological services are included. The nurses line at the after hours nurses line is included. All the work that we do with Healthy Campus is included. The work that we have done for surveillance and reporting of infectious diseases like COVID-19 are included, as well as emergency planning and response and public health policy consultation. The things that aren't covered, though, are things like medications or prescriptions or over-the-counter supplies that might be needed for your treatment. Laboratory and x-ray services. Psychiatry is different from just the counseling and psychological services. Procedures that the doctors might order. Pre-employment annual GYN and routine physical exams also carry extra fees, and then medical equipment. So if you think about it, it's like the person who provides the service, the doctor's cost, that's covered. Extra things that might be, that would actually have an expense to us, like a lab fee or an x-ray, those have extra fees. If you have insurance, we are in network for most pharmacy insurance. And if you have the Clemson University Student Health Insurance Plan, these things would be covered. Out of network would just be your regular medical insurance. So insurance is always tricky, and I always suggest that people call and ask if they have questions, because it so depends on what your particular situation is. We courtesy file out-of-network providers for many commercial medical insurance plans, and you can upload your insurance card through the My Health E portal. Some plans will not reimburse for out-of-network services, and you would be responsible for any charges not paid for by your insurance. You will also incur no-show fees for missed appointments and late cancellation fees for counseling and psychological services and psychiatry appointments, not canceled by midnight the day before the appointment. So make sure that you cancel those appointments if you can't make it. Students will be billed for any amount due after insurance is processed, and you'll receive monthly reminders about outstanding balances through your secure messages in MyHealthE, and you can pay for them through MyHealthE. We do have our own student health insurance plan. It's an excellent plan. We do file all those claims in-house, and coverage must be purchased each semester during open enrollment at the same time that you pay your tuition and fees. The insurance provided is by Blue Cross Blue Shield, and enrollments or payments are administered by the academic health plans. So you can go to this link here, and I'm going to share this with your folks so that you can have these links for rates and enrollment information. Students whose parents want to have access to billing information should complete the authorization for release of information form located on our website. And you can contact the insurance and billing staff at Redfern with any questions or concerns. They are super helpful and very friendly, and they are used to helping people navigate the very complicated world that is insurance. Our pharmacy is a full-service pharmacy located inside Redfern Health Center. We have a professional pharmacy staff who are ready and available to answer questions regarding prescription processing, medication therapy, and over-the-counter recommendations. We fill prescriptions from Redfern Health Center's physicians, but then also off-campus medical providers. And we use text notifications and web app refill options. In addition, we offer a variety of over-the-counter products to help with common medical conditions at very competitive prices. I personally buy my over-the-counter medications from the pharmacy because the prices are so much better than anywhere else. So highly recommend the pharmacy, and it's super convenient if you just need, Tylenol or cold medicine or something like that, and you don't really need to see a physician, but you just need something to help you feel a little bit better. The pharmacy is a fantastic resource. It also accepts most major insurance plans and files as an in-network provider, so they are a very great option. And they can also assist students with insurance billing issues, co-pays, and formularies. Excuse me. We also have a drug take-back box on site for disposal of expired or unused medications. Flu shots are available with no appointment necessary. And you can submit your pharmacy insurance card information and request any prescriptions to be transferred to Redfern through this link here. Immunization requirements. Students are required to complete student immunization forms or obtain a verified copy of your immunization record and upload those documents and enter the immunization dates in MyHealthE. You'll also be asked to complete the tuberculosis risk screening assessment questionnaire in MyHealthE as well. You have to do that by July 1st, and then you can learn more about that at the new student link on our website. Counseling and Psychological Services, or CAPS as we call it, is our Counseling and Psychological Services area. They treat anxiety, stress, depression, loneliness, relationship difficulties, eating concerns, and questions about identity. There are online treatments available. We have the Therapy Assistance Online, which we call TAO. We do individual counseling, couple and family counseling, group counseling, skill development workshops, so psychoeducational, coping skills development, and personal growth groups. We also have a psychiatrist on site, and we are accredited by the American Psychological Association as a psychology training site. For TAO, it is a platform of educational modules to help you better understand your personal experience, learn to manage how you think, feel, and act, and have some practice tools and logs to reinforce new skills. So this is something you can do either in conjunction with working with a therapist, or you can actually do this on your own. So you complete one model a week and have a video conference with your therapist for a brief session. And then there's the self-help version, which is you just enroll yourself. It's a completely private experience, and you can sign up at the CAPS website. So this is a great option if you don't really feel like you actually need individual counseling, but just would like to work on some issues you feel like that you need to work on your own. So in terms of accessing care, the phone screening, we right now, due to COVID, we do offer quite a lot of our services either through the telephone or through a Zoom-like platform. So students can contact CAPS by calling to schedule to do an intake phone screening appointment. We do still offer some walk-in access, again, based on severity and also based on access in terms of COVID. And then students are assessed and treatment is recommended as needed. And we also run a lot of groups. And then we also have emergency after hours counseling that you reach through calling our Clemson University Police Department and asking for the counselor on call. So Healthy Campus is my area, and our goal is for Clemson to be a national model of health, safety, and sustainability for our students to experience a way of life at Clemson that contributes to lifelong health and well-being. We work with leadership and advocacy for public health to improve health. We offer creative inquiry teams, internships, class projects. We have mindfulness and well-being short courses, and we partner with collaborators to achieve these goals. Mostly what we do is really focusing on the population level, whereas CAPS and medical focuses more on that individual level. So we're looking really at the environment and how it fosters health. You can request programs online that focus on all of these well-being, health and well-being topics. And our website also contains a lot of information that you can look at individually related to these topics as well. We send out the Student Health 101 newsletter monthly that covers these topics too. So we have a lot of programs that focus on well-being. The Aspire to Be Well program is a required program for all new students that talks about alcohol and other drugs, interpersonal violence prevention, and mental health. We offer the Be Well Wednesday programs, Alcohol EDU, empathy workshops. Tigers Together is a suicide prevention program, and Core Room Mindfulness focuses on mindfulness and well-being. I want to skip through some of these because I've mentioned them already. I just want to say one more thing about the online resources. Our website, with the health topics right here, this drop down has all the health topics that I just showed you, and they include a lot of information where you can get some advice and some help just looking at the website, kind of to see if you want to pursue something further. Here are all of our contact numbers. Again, I'll share this presentation with you. So, and actually what I'll do is I'll share the link where you can see this online. And you can follow us on our social media pages at these handles. So just to kind of review some really important takeaways for new students. Your immunization requirements are due July 1st, and those need to be submitted through My Health E. Think about what you want to do for your medical insurance. If you want to, utilize family insurance or the insurance you might be covered under now, upload that information into My Health E. Do the same for the pharmacy, and then also consider our insurance as well. I appreciate y'all inviting me here today, and I'm super excited about the fact that you guys will be hopefully joining us.
Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer. We appreciate your wise words of wisdom given to all of us. Next on the agenda is Dr. Andrew Neptune. He is a fantastic professor here in the College of Engineering, Computing, and Applied Sciences, and you get to meet him if you do our PeerWise experience. So Dr. Neptune, I give it to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Beth Ann and everyone, and Ms. Sarita and Ms. Lisa, and all the participants this morning. Thank you. My name's Andrew Neptune. Um, as you see here, I'm a lecturer with General Engineering. Recently became a senior lecturer with them. I've been here for coming up on a full 6 years teaching with General Engineering. And I'll just give you a quick talk on what general engineering entails. A little bit about myself. I am from the Caribbean, so you might hear a bit of an accent there. I did a bachelor's in engineering science, more or less a general engineering course, and or degree. And then I came to Clemson and did my master's and PhD in civil engineering. So that's my background. I am from Grenada. That's a specific name of that Caribbean island, also referred to as the Isle of Spice. My wife, Kim, is here with me. We've been married a little over 10 years, and we have a daughter. She's 8 years, and people tend to remember her name more than mine because her name is Jubilee and last name Neptune. Other things, my research area involved optimization of pervious concrete. So I did, my focus was construction materials. Did a little teaching with Tri-County before I came to Clemson. And I enjoy sports. I should get more involved in it. Things like volleyball and table tennis, and I do a little fishing. The general engineering department, we have been using what is called a scale-up program, and that stands for student-centered activities for large enrollment undergraduate programs, so a mouthful. And with that, one of the models that we follow, you probably would hear of it, is the flipped classroom. And what that really is our goal, and what we do is provide students with different resources before they even come into the classroom. So you have things like videos, you have the readings, all that would be in Canvas. So Canvas is your friend, your area to find out what is happening in class today. And the hope is for prep, that students would read those pages that are assigned. If there's anything that is confusing, you can look at videos that do examples and explain things so that when you come to class, it's a short time for lecturing, just covering some of the concepts and bringing those ideas out, but give more opportunities for interaction and problem solving. So a more of an active learning center where you can engage and collaborate with your peers on the ways to progress from start to finish of different problems. As an engineer, that's one of the things that you'd be doing, is solving problems of physical nature. And sometimes the human aspects of it come in because we're working with, oftentimes that come in because we're working with human beings to accomplish a certain goal. So general engineering, scale up, and flipped classroom. You hear that sometimes people think flipped classroom means that you teach yourself. No, it's that you get exposed to the resources, to the material. So when you come in, it's not your first time hearing. Another goal of the department is to give the student time to explore their options. So one of our courses, which is more of a seminar course, it gives you a little bit of the different majors that we offer at Clemson University. And we have 10 engineering majors. And in that seminar, you have people from academia, from industry that will come in and share of their experiences. So you get a somewhat of a sense of, what is industrial engineering like? Or what is bioengineering? Or biosystems engineering? Or civil? You get to change your mind. You might have a field that you were interested in, most of your family members were interested in, but when you get exposed to others, you're like, I think I like electrical engineering over mechanical engineering, or whatever the case may be. So you can decide where you want to go with your future. So you get opportunities to explore for active learning, advising, and community. Some of the courses that we offer includes you'll often hear of them, engineering disciplines and skills, or ENGR 1020. And then that happens mainly in the fall. And then in the spring, you have what we call MATLAB, Engineering 1410. And they both have labs that go with them. Our labs are different from a typical lab. It's a merge of class and problems that would take a little longer maybe than your homework problems. And they can be a little more involved. So you have maybe sometimes 2 days to work on certain things like that and get the experience of working with one another to achieve that common goal. Then we have Survey of Mathematical Topics, that's ENGR 1010. And not everyone, this is more of helping improve your mathematical skills as you get ready for calculus and other math classes. You have Engineering Graphics and Machine Design, better known as SolidWorks, ENGR 2080. And if you're looking at mechanical engineering, that's a course you'll be taking. And then we have engineering, ENGR 2100, Computer Aided Design and Engineering Applications, or other name for it, AutoCAD. And the seminar course I talked about, ENGR 1000. So these are some of the courses that we offer. As was placed on the screen, you see all the different majors that we have. And I encourage you to explore them. The 3 classes that I teach, Engineering 1020, that's Engineering Disciplines and Skills, and then MATLAB, and also the Survey of Mathematical Topics. So that's what I do at Clemson. Just a little bit on what engineering disciplines and skills entails, mainly problem solving. So working things like density and pressure and electrical power and things like that, using equations, converting from one unit system to another, seeing how different physical properties entwine with each other. So that's the thing there. For MATLAB, one of the things you might hear from other students is hard, and it is. It's learning a language, okay? But you can do it. And one of the things I want to encourage you as a student, some classes you can start a week later and still do well. What I mean by that, you can come to class the first day, but you might not do the work as you should. You might not pay attention in class, you might be distracted. And then a week later you say, okay, I need to get my act together and I need to focus on this class. MATLAB is not the class you want to do that in. The latest you should start working on MATLAB is the day it starts. So that means you should start exposing yourself to the material even before the first day of class. And you want to stay with it because it continually uses, not just build, but uses the material from day one. And if you don't, it's very hard to catch up. So that's my encouragement for you. When you hit the spring for MATLAB, get going from day one. Survey of Mathematical Topics, if you're in that class, is more math-based. So these are some of the things that happen in general engineering. We provide lots of resources. Pick one, you get opportunities to get help from undergraduate teaching assistants, and ASC, Academic Success center. They have a lot of workshops that you could get bonus points for. So there's a lot of things that we make available. Just tap into them. Sometimes it can become a little overwhelming. Just say, okay, let me choose one, or talk with people. All right, so thank you for this opportunity to share about general engineering. I hope this gives some of a picture, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer and to give a little bit more insight.
Good morning, Dr. Neptune. We do have a question. How do students interact with the professors outside the classroom? I would answer that, but I'll let you answer.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we all have office hours, and also we have an open door kind of system where you can drop in. So if I'm in my office and you're going by, you can drop in and ask a question. So we have set office hours, and if office hours and dropping in can't work, you can send an email and time for interaction can happen. With the season that we're in, COVID season, our office hours is virtual using Zoom. And we also use Calendly, which gives you an opportunity to set up an appointment at another time so as to meet with us. If I'm walking on the sidewalk and you have a question, you see me, you can ask me. No problems with that. I'm from the Caribbean, yeah, and we say howdy, and no problem in answering a question on the sidewalk. So that's one of the ways. Or during class, have a question in class, put your hand up and you ask it. Yeah, or before or after class. Yeah. Any other questions? I trust that answers.
Thank you, Dr. Neptune. Right now, there are no
You're
other
welcome.
questions.
All right. Well, thank you for affording me this opportunity to share about general engineering and myself. Thank you.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work, and welcome everyone, all the students to Clemson. It's an adventure you will definitely enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ajo, do you want to share a little bit about the computer science programs and what you love about your major?
Yeah, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm pasting a link into the chat. It's a resource called the Clemson Catalog, and you can pretty much find this for the equivalent of whatever major you want to go into, but it'll allow you to actually look and see what classes you're going to take over your 4 years or however long, like at Clemson. So I'm in computer science. So computer science is not that much different from a computer engineering, maybe. The only difference is that computer science is very coding based. So whereas in engineering, you would start off in general engineering and take all the classes that Dr. Neptune mentioned. In computer science, you would start off just in the first computer science class. And it would just start with just general coding concepts and kind of preparing you for the higher level classes. So, but other than that, honestly, you take about the same classes on side. So like you have to take a science, you have to take Calc 1, Calc 2. So it's pretty much the same requirements. But as far as what I do in computer science, I love it just because when I was originally an engineering major and I took MATLAB, and I realized that I like coding so much more than engineering. So that's the path I chose to take. And right now I work in a lot of cool things. Like I work with autonomous vehicles, I do research, and it's just been a really cool experience for me. So I definitely recommend, if you're interested in computer science, building software, video games, digital productions, anything like that, I would definitely suggest to get involved. And you can also do like a minor in computer science. There's cybersecurity, like on the screen. There's a lot of different skills that you can gain through computer science in those related areas. So I definitely recommend. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Thanks, Quadro. Now we have Mr. Matt Swain to share about Clemson life on campus.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, so like she said, my name's Matt Swain. I am from Clemson Home, University Housing and Dining. I'm super excited to get to talk to y'all. I am also a Clemson grad, so I kind of have the great situation being able to speak both from student experience as well as some staff information. So we are just going to start with a short video about life on campus, and then I'll have some information for you.
Why choose to wake up on Clemson's campus every day?
Why choose to wake up on Clemson's campus every day?
Why choose to wake up on Clemson's campus every day?
You can develop a personal relationship with your resident assistant. They care about what you need and how you can develop socially and academically.
Being in a living learning community helps you make meaningful connections with like-minded students. It offers faculty and staff support and is designed to help you reach your learning goals.
Students who live on campus again their sophomore year have a higher average GPA, a higher retention rate, and a higher graduation rate than those who move off campus.
For a truly transformative experience that helps you explore who you are, connect meaningfully with others, and engage intellectually, and lead as a global citizen. Live where your life happens with Clemson Home.
So dining by the numbers, we do have 2 all-you-care-to-eat dining halls. Those are going to be kind of your traditional style dining halls. We have 17 retail eateries on campus and 8 convenience stores. So no matter what you're looking for, we probably got something for you. And I think on the next slide, we should have some kind of a preview of some of the other options. There we go. So Shaletter Dining Hall and the Fresh Food Company are going to be the 2 all-you-care-to-eat traditional style dining halls. You'll probably recognize some of the other brands. You know, we've got a lot of national brand options: Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, Starbucks. We also have some more campus-specific brands. So that's going to be like the Community Hub. That's in our Dowlett Hills residential community. So that's a little bit of a different concept than you might be used to. So you can use your meal swipes there for your meal plan, but you are going to be able to pull a solution 1 per meal period per day. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you can have your entree, side, and a drink all for 1 meal swipe. So there's a few different concepts. I'll get into that a little bit more in some of the meal plan options. But housing by the numbers, again, we've got a lot of options available for you: 22 residence halls, 5 suite style halls, 4 apartment communities, and 17 living learning communities. So no matter what your personality is, we've got something that's probably going to be pretty well tailored to what your needs are and what you want to get out of campus. In terms of support, we do have a lot of great resources: 231 resident assistants. Those are going to be upper class students who live on the hall with you and are there to kind of just offer any support you might need. We have 7 faculty and residents. Those are faculty members who actually live in our residential communities, often with their families and their pets, and they really offer kind of a home feeling on campus. It's also a really great way to get to know some of your faculty members on a more personal basis. We have 8 faculty friends. Those serve kind of a similar role to the faculty and residents. They're not going to be living in the residence halls, but they will participate in a lot of the programs and events that we put on. And you might even be able to see them in the dining halls, interact with them, outside of class. 7 graduate assistants help us with a lot of the programs, such as sustainability, education. They do a lot of behind the scenes work with us. We have 11 community directors. Those are going to be your full-time staff who live in the residential communities. So if you've got any concerns that maybe a resident assistant can't help you with, or you'd rather talk to a full-time staff member about an issue, the community directors are there for that purpose. They also handle a lot of programs and events, along with the graduate community directors who kind of assist in that role. Go on to the next. I think we skipped a couple. Go back one more. Okay. I think we should have some housing options in here. There we go. So Bryan Mall is one of our housing options that might be of particular interest to a lot of you. It does consist of 3 high-rise buildings and 3 low-rise buildings. All but one of those houses first-year students. So Burns and Lever are 2 of our high-rise buildings, and they are home to our residents in science and engineering living learning community, which you'll get a little bit more information about in a bit. Manning Hall is going to be an all-women hall, again, a high-rise. And then we have Malden, which is a co-ed low-rise, and Barnett, which is a sorority hall on the first 3 floors, and all women first-year students on the 4th floor. All of those are going to be hall-style bathrooms, so kind of the more traditional style, where you've got a room on the hall with toilet stalls, shower stalls, and sinks. Crib to Chance and Gresset is going to be one of our newer communities. Crib and a Chance houses our honors residential college. So if you're going to be in the honors college, definitely check those out. Gresset is a co-ed option. They have wet core style bathrooms. So that's a newer concept where it's a little bit more privacy than the traditional hall style. You still have clusters of bathrooms on each hall, but you have a closing locking door with the toilet, sink, and shower behind it. The suites, if you want the suite style and you're not in the honors college, the suites are going to be your best option. Holmes and McCabe are right next to Crib to Champs and Gresset. And then we have Mickle Hall as well, right in front of the stadium. So if you're a football fan, Mickle Hall has some amazing views of Death Valley, and it's great right there in the action on game day. The shoeboxes is actually where I lived when I was a first-year student at Clemson. So it kind of holds a special place in my heart, but the benefits to the shoeboxes, they're smaller communities. It's 5 buildings total. So you know your neighbors. Inside, you do have walk-in closets and sinks in every room. Outside, you've got some great green space area, as well as a basketball court, volleyball court, and a little garden area. So great outdoor space, as well as some great perks inside. It is going to be hall-style bathrooms again. So, overall, great opportunity, and it's a little bit more of an affordable option. And finally, Dowlett Hills East is going to be, again, one of our newer communities. It is an all-inclusive community, so we do have the residence halls, dining options, the bookstore, and its own dedicated fitness center, all in that one community. It's a little bit further away from the academic buildings. So just depending on what your personal requirements are and what you're looking for out of your campus life, you might want to focus down on one of these specific community options. But we do have something for everybody. So definitely check out our website. We've got a ton of information available under residential communities. So you can just kind of search through and see what fits you. Now, living learning communities are a way that you can go ahead and kind of pick how the residential experience is going to work from the start. So we've got a few different categories. Clemson Rise, Residence in Science and Engineering, is one of them. That is an example of a academic major-based program. So it is exclusively for engineering students. It is in Burns and Lever Hall. So it's one of our biggest communities. And it's really just a great experience to be able to walk down the hall and know, your neighbors are going to be the people you see in your classes from first year all the way through graduation. There's also a lot of great resources for engineering students in that program. Yeah, we do have a couple of others dedicated to engineering students as well. So check out our website for kind of all the information on that, all of the major based options. The Honors Residential College is more of an involvement based. So if you are in the Honors College, that's going to have a lot of the honors resources available in the building, and you know that you're around other honors students right from the start. L3 is an example of a program-based, involvement-based LLC. It's for anybody who's interested in leadership. There's a lot of programs centered around leadership, building leadership qualities. Again, we have some other options in that category as well. If you're an ROTC, that might be a good option. And then finally, Connections is going to be an example of one of our identity-based. So if you want to live with other people with similar identities, we do have Connections, Lavender Place, Spectrum, as well as a few others. So, the living learning communities in general are just a great way to go ahead and have inbuilt connections with other people who are going to be your neighbors, and kind of go ahead and be able to make friends with people who you're going to be seeing around in either extracurricular activities or within your major. So your meal plan options, there's not going to be a ton of options for first year students. You are required to have an unlimited meal plan. So that means unlimited meal swipes in either of our 2 all you care to eat dining halls, as well as in the Delvet Hills Community Hub. So you walk in, you swipe your card, and you can eat whatever you want, as many times a day as you want. So that's really a great thing for first year students. If you want to go back with a friend or just hang out in the dining hall, you've got that unlimited meal plan that'll let you do that. So the only real difference here is going to be the Paul points. Those are dollar for dollar dining credits. So you have a choice between 100, 200, or 300. And those are going to be able to be used at any of our retail locations, either at our convenience store, pod markets, for any necessities that you might need, or at any of those national or regional brand restaurants. So you've got a little bit of variety between the dining halls and those common familiar restaurants. It also has some differences in the number of guest meals, so 5, 10, or 15, depending on the plan that you choose. Those are really just going to be used for if you have a friend in town, or you have a friend who forgets their Tiger One card and needs to be swiped in, or if your family's in town. If you're expecting to have a lot of people visit you, you might want to go for a little bit larger number of meals. Okay, so we do have a few important dates that you probably need to know. Sign up event weekend dates. We should have some information about sign up. So sign up is going on now through May 17th. So there's a few different things you'll do during that sign up process. You will be signing your contract, paying your application fee, picking your dining plan, picking a living learning community if you want to be in one, and roommate group if you choose to do so. I do highly recommend taking that route. We do have roommate matching options in the housing portal when you're going through that contract. So you don't have to know anybody right off the bat. But it does kind of make a difference if you're able to, have some choice in who your roommate's going to be. Now, assuming that you've made it through that whole process by May 17th, on May 19th, you will get a time slot notification to your Clemson University email account. That is going to tell you exactly when you can go into the housing portal again and select your exact space on campus. Only one person needs to do that from each roommate group. So if you do have roommates, only one of you will need to go in and select the space. So make sure you discuss with your roommates who is going to log in and what your top choices are going to be. It's always a little bit painful when somebody picks something that might not be what their roommate was comfortable with. So the exact times that you'll be going in to select will be at some point either May 20th or 21st if you're going to be in a living learning community, or May 25th through the 27th if you're just going to be doing any of the general first year housing. So once you finish with that room selection process, you are going to be selecting a move-in appointment as well. So that is going to be the exact time and date that you will be moving into your residential community on campus. Move-in is going to be August 10th through the 12th. So it is going to be on one of those days for any first year students. We don't have a ton of information available about that right now. We will be putting that on our website. So if you haven't already, definitely check out our website, housing.clemson.edu. Our incoming students page is housing.clemson.edu/welcome. Also follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And we definitely use that a lot to put out updated information. So that's all I've got, but if there's any questions, I can answer those now.
I have two questions, Matt. Thank you. One is there any way to see the residence room if we visit the campus?
There is not. We do not allow students to actually go into the residence halls, since we do have people living there, especially around COVID. That makes it a little bit more difficult. But again, check out our website. We are planning to launch some virtual tours on there pretty soon. So you'll be able to see full 360 views of any of the residential communities for that.
Another question, what is room selection priority based on?
So that is going to be based on your application date to the university. So not when you were signing up for housing, but actually when you applied to the university.
Okay.
And then also there's that piece of the LLCs going on a different day as well.
Another question says, what are the ways to connect with the incoming students to find a roommate?
So the best option is going to be in the housing portal. When you go in, you have to create your contract first. You have to go through the sign up process. But after that, you'll be able to see all the other students who completed a contract and be able to reach out to them and see their profile, see their information. We also have a lifestyle questionnaire that you can answer to try to gauge at least some compatibility.
Another question, will the summer housing have roommates?
Yes, yep, the summer housing, if you're doing the TTSV program, I assume that's probably what you're talking about. You can select a roommate, same process. It'll be through the housing portal. You'll just create a roommate group through that and be able to see any profiles through there as well.
Thank you, Matt. This is to the mentors that's on the call. One of the students want to know, what can the students on the call give us the advice on housing, since we cannot go there and see the rooms in person?
I'm going to be an orientation ambassador over the summer. And like Matthew was saying, if they're going to have some room tours probably on the housing website, but I know something specifically for orientation. We're going to try and get a group of videos together, so that way if you're interested in seeing what a shoebox looks like or what the community looks like in the area surrounding, we will have videos showing all the dorms on campus, so you won't come in unprepared. Also, something that I like to do before I came in, I'm kind of a freak planner. I got a piece of graph paper and I looked at the dimensions that they have on the website, and I just kind of sketched out what might be able to fit, what size couch I might need, and all that kind of stuff. And I found that really helpful.
Any other students?
I guess I can give like my favorite places that people usually like living in. So I lived in McCabe, which is kind of next to Course. I think that's like in the Mickle area next to Dining Hall. So I lived in McCabe. So McCabe is more a suite style. So I like that. You have a roommate, but then you share a bathroom with 2 other roommates on the side too. So if you like that, that's better. That's what I preferred. So I like McCabe homes, and then also they have like more of the newer stuff that we didn't have the luxury of living in, but they have more of that. So that's more like your core area. So shoe boxes have been around for a while, so I mean those are pretty common. So those are pretty good too. But I mean, if you really want to go like high level, that's like the Doubt Hit area, where you can find all the nice, very good stuff, where you have Starbucks and dining halls right at hand, and then they also have a really nice like workout area. So if that's what you like, then that's probably the best areas in my opinion.
Alrighty, so as we are all making our way back, I want to speak to our PeerWise mentors. Y'all are going to share about your experiences. We're going to do this from 10:45 to 11, kind of showing that nimbleness that is always required in a COVID world, and also just what it's like to be in school. And then we'll get right back on track, so we are being good stewards of everybody's time and getting out when we say. So, alrighty, so I'm gonna give it away to our student panelists.
Do you want, how do you want it to work?
excuse me, Beth Ann, was there some questions already sent in, some students already had that they wanted to ask, that they wanted answered? I'm sorry.
Let me check and see. I don't have any questions that were sent in. So if PeerWise mentors, if you'll give a introduction of who you are, the number of years you've been involved, and then first year expectations. We'll start with that one. And we'll start with Kanita. You're the first on my screen. You want to start us off?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. I think I already gave a quick introduction, but I'll say it one more time. So I'm Kanita Johnson, and I'm from Hollywood, South Carolina. So if you don't know where that is, like most people, it's right outside of Charleston, South Carolina. So I get to eat all the good seafood. But other than that, I'm a senior chemical engineering major here at Clemson. Hopefully I kind of give a very quick overview so that way I can answer as many questions. But I've had a little bit of research experience here at Clemson, so I've done that for a semester. I like talking, so that really wasn't my thing, but I can answer a little bit about that. I give tours for the chemical engineering department. I do a lot of outreach stuff, so I'm always talking with Miss Lisa, Miss Rita, Miss Beth Ann, everybody. So that's my family up here and wise. So other than that, I've done a little bit of internships as well, so I can answer stuff like that for you guys. And I think that's almost it, but hopefully I can just answer as I go. And then also I'm in a sorority, so I get to do all that great stuff that comes along with that with Alpha Kappa Alpha. So that's just a little bit about me. But other than that, first year expectations, I think that it kind of really just depends on the individual. I think it's a learning process when you come in for your first year. I think PeerWise is at least a good starting point for you. So it's a lot different than high school. I would say that just for me, like my study habits became different. I mean, basically having to interact with more people. So you guys hopefully would be on campus if you did come. But I think that the biggest thing I had to learn was transitioning from high school to college is learning how to study differently for different classes, getting used to, having to conform to different teachers and professors, how they teach. And then most importantly, just really prioritizing. That's something I didn't really learn until maybe like my second or third year here at Clemson. So really just learning what things are super important to you. And just knowing that certain things don't have to break you down. So tests don't always go good. Sometimes you only have 3 or 4 tests per class. So stuff like that, you kind of just have to do your best, make sure you use the resources. Tutoring is a thing at Clemson. So I would tell you that 1,000 times, most of my mentees will feel like they don't need any tutoring. But that's something that everybody here at Clemson does. I promise you, everybody has some type of tutoring because these classes are hard, especially engineering. It happens and it's okay, but that's something I always tell people as well. So that's my first year expectations.
I can go next. I'm Amber. I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering major. I am also obviously an orientation ambassador. I don't know much about orientation. Glenn is really the mastermind behind that. I just kind of give out the same information he does. So I can't answer many questions about that, but I'm also a RISE tour guide. So when Matthew was talking about residence in science and engineering, I know a lot about that living learning community because I give tours there. So if you have any questions about what events they hold, what professional development things they hold, the community aspect, I can answer anything about that. Something that I will say, first year expectations, I didn't expect, like Kanita said, to need as much help as I did. I was always very much the kind of person that didn't ask questions in high school. But something that WISE and being a participant in the RISE program my first year really helped me realize that it is really okay to ask for help. It's very beneficial to you and no one's gonna think that you're less than for that. And I found that very valuable in my first year.
I can go next. My name's Allie. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a senior in bioengineering, and I'll be staying next year to get my master's in bioengineering. I've been a mentor since my sophomore year. I really loved getting involved with Peer and Wise. As far as just other organizations on campus, I'm involved in an engineering sorority called Alpha Omega Epsilon. And I'm also in SWE. And I also gave RISE tours when I was a sophomore and a junior. So I lived in RISE my freshman year, and then my sophomore year, I actually lived in the Wiser Living Learning community. So that was a really great experience. If you have any questions about that, definitely reach out to me. As far as first year expectations, I think kind of what Amber and Kanita have been saying about just reaching out for help. In high school, I was never, I didn't need help. And so it was kind of hard to reach out and get help. But I know reaching out to professors and going to tutoring can be a little scary sometimes, but it's definitely really beneficial, and everybody at Clemson is really here to help you. So you'll always feel supported wherever you go. Another good tip is to find a good study group for all of your classes, and especially being in all the general engineering classes. A lot of people you meet will be taking those same classes. Whether you have a different professor or not, it'll usually be pretty much the same material. So you can kind of have the same study group for all of your classes. But that's been really beneficial as well. And then just going to tutoring and just reaching out to your professor, reaching out to other mentors and upperclassmen for help as well.
I can go next. So my name is McKenna. I am a senior industrial engineering major. This is my last semester, so looking forward to graduation. Some things that I've been involved in during my time at Clemson. I have some research experience. I'm also a university tour guide. So if you were to take a tour of Clemson on campus, you know, when we're back normal in person, I am one of those tour guides. We're also doing virtual tours. So if you want more of like information about the university itself, I highly recommend y'all to sign up for a virtual tour. I've studied abroad. I'm also in a sorority, Delta Sigma Theta. I have been a PeerWise mentor since my junior year, and my first interaction with PeerWise was during PeerWise Experience, so the program that Miss Lisa talked about at the very beginning. So if y'all have the opportunity to do that, I highly recommend it. I was an out-of-state student coming to Clemson, so I didn't know anyone coming here. And just doing that program, it gave me a network before I had even started. And it gave me a bunch of friends that I am still friends with to this day. So it's a really great program just to kind of jumpstart your college experience. As well as like some advice goes for your first year. Obviously, school is the focus, so you want to make sure you're really engaged with your classes. And then also you're going to want to get involved. So I kind of had to force myself to get involved because sometimes I'm not the person who just volunteers to do stuff. But really like force yourself to get involved, find a couple of programs and organizations that you're really passionate about and kind of make your home there. One thing that I kind of had to struggle with freshman year was just getting used to like a different schedule. So in high school, I did competitive sports and I had practice every day right from after school until like 9 o'clock at night. So when I came to college, I obviously wasn't doing sports. So I felt like I had a ton of free time and I really had to learn how to not waste time and use my time wisely. So time management is everything. But it's just something that you kind of learn along the way. Like you're not going to be perfect, you know, day one. Also in your classes, don't just go to class, like make friends in your classes, really make connections with your professors because ultimately they're here to help you and they want to see you succeed. And then also with all of your other resources, just use them with mentors, classmates, professors, like I said earlier, because everyone is there to watch you succeed and they will offer all the support that they can to help you do that.
I can go next. So my name is Quadra Boating. I'm a senior computer science student from Sumter, South Carolina. So I'm graduating in December, so I have a little more time than everybody else. But let's see what I'm involved in. I have a lot of research experience on campus through computer science. I've done a lot of things with student organizations like Renaissance Man, Brother, PeerWise. I've been involved with PeerWise, I'd say since my freshman year. I came in through the PureWise experience, which was a great opportunity. So I definitely suggest that. And then also I became a mentor, I guess, a year ago. So this is technically my first full year being a mentor. As far as first year expectations go, I think in high school, you can kind of float through things, like you can kind of go with the flow. And it's good to do that sometimes with life, but as far as classes go, it's not that great of an idea. You might make it through and get an A, but you might fail also. And you don't really want to leave that up to chance, especially in college. And I think it's very easy. Things in college go very fast. So I think it's very easy to look up halfway through the semester and say, wow, I have 50 in this class and I don't really know how I got here. So I think you have to be very intentional about what you do. So when you come in, if you want to make an A in a class, you have to be intentional at the beginning and say, let me go to office hours. Let me look at the curriculum. Let me write the dates for tests down. You have to say, I'm going to get this A in this class. Because if you just kind of go with the flow and walk in class and just kind of see what happens today, you're probably not going to excel the way you want to, just because classes move fast, professors move fast, and they're not checking to see if you're retaining the material, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's very important. And other than that, just enjoy it, because like I said, everything goes by fast. So you want to make sure that you can look back on your first year and say, I mean, it was rough, but I enjoyed it and I got a lot out of it.
Quadro, I'm sorry. We had a quick question. A student says, I'm a computer science major and will be on campus this week. What should I make sure to see?
So the computer science building on campus is called McAdams. It's actually right behind Redfern, the medical center that we were referencing earlier. I don't know if the building is actually open. So you could definitely go just look at the building, see if you can get in. If you see someone walking out, just ask them to tell you more about what's going on there. But yeah, I would definitely say go there and just see if you can get inside, really.
I think I can piggyback off that because of COVID, and we are all having to take the COVID-19 test. They give us access to certain buildings, so they probably wouldn't be able to get in, like you said. But you might, Quadro, is there a professor or somebody in that department they might can email and maybe speak with them, and maybe they can bring them in, but I'm not sure.
What I would say is I'm going to drop my email in the chat, email me, and I can get together a list of certain professors in different parts of computer science that could be beneficial to you. So I'll for that.
Thank you. No, you do not have to apply to PureWise. Once we get that final list of the students that's coming into the College of Engineering, Computing, and Applied Science, we will give you a mentor and you will be automatically a part of the PureWise family. Same question, but for general engineering, which building will we be in our first year? What classes what building will they spend the most of their first year in? Anybody want to answer that one?
I'm actually a teaching assistant for a lot of the general engineering classes, and where most of them are held are in the Watt Center. So I think that's a great place to go if you ever come on campus. You can walk by, it's really pretty. Big glass building. It's got a really cool LED display on the front. It's right by the library. It's a really pretty walk. Some of the other places where general engineering classes are held, in the RISE Living Learning Community, there's actually a classroom in the basement. So some of the classes are actually held in there. So if you're a RISE student, you can have a class in the basement of your building, which is really interesting. And some of them are just kind of thrown all over campus too. I know some of them are in Holtendorf, and yeah, but most of them are in the Watt Center, if I remember right.
Just wanted to jump in real quick. I'm Olu Dosumu. I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering major. Some of the stuff I've been involved in, similar to Quadro, I was in Brother to Brother. I'm also in Tiger Alliance and some other clubs like that, more than mentoring clubs for minority students. I'd say for first year, definitely what everyone's been saying, just be ready to study. I know I didn't have to study a lot in high school, and that's my biggest issue was my transition was learning how to study and being successful, because school used to came easy to me. So coming here is a whole different ball game with these classes, and how they teach it is just very different from a high school standpoint. So just be ready to have to study, but also be ready to socialize and get to meet new people. Especially with peer wise, you'll have the opportunity to meet a lot of upperclassmen, and those can be great connections to get to know different parts of campus that you wouldn't see with just hanging out with freshmen.
Does anybody else have any questions for our panelists, the student panel? One question, one thing I'll hear a lot of them talking about is coming to Clemson. It's a big transition, guys, when you're transferring from high school to college. So that's really big. I want to share something. When I first came to Clemson and I was embarking on the position I am now, and Miss Sue Lasser, who was the peer coordinator, said, one thing of everybody at Clemson is smart. Everybody gets it because you're in the top 5 or 10%, and every one of you are smart. But then she says, when everybody gets to, all smart people get to Clemson, we're all dead average. So that was a big pill to swallow because we all are dead average. I'm a student now too in the master program. So, you know, I was an AD student too. And when I first received a C or one time, you know, you'd be like, what this mean? Because we never knew, you know, we're the best of the best. So don't get discouraged. Learn that, read the syllabus when you come in, because some of those, you might have 4 tests that weighted 25% of your grade or 40% of your grade. So make sure you do all of those due diligence. I just want to piggyback off of that. Most, if you talk, when you heard some of our students talk, they were the best of the best. So, you know, compare yourself to yourself, not against some of the other people you come in contact with, but when you know you've done your best. Let me see, we have some questions in the chat. I'm sorry. Do you hear, if you want to do RISE, there's a link. Amber talked to you about RISE, so you can have that information as well. How to get in RISE, the Live and Learning community. Any other questions?
Miss Lisa, did you want us to talk about like maybe our majors to kind of explain a little bit better? Or we can answer the first question in here too.
Yes, it says, I got a question now. Did y'all have any internships, co-ops, and how was that experience? Did y'all recommend it, and do you sign up? Internships, you have to go to the Career Center. We have that in the Michelin Career Center, which is
Did Miss Lisa freeze or did Beth Ann freeze?
I think Miss Lisa froze.
Okay. We are kind of running at the short end of our time here. So our mentors have put their emails in the chat for all of our students here. So again, Kanitra is chemical engineering, Olu is mechanical engineering, Quadjo is computer science, Amber is mechanical engineering as well, and Allie is bioengineering. And then Miss Lisa and I will put our information in the chat as well. So if you have majors that are outside those majors, we would be happy to connect you with another mentor or a faculty member within those majors as well. So any final thoughts, mentors, before we move on to talk about financial aid?
I'll just say that we have some tours coming up for like the engineering department. So if you want to get a little bit more of an in-depth experience of exactly what the different engineers kind of entail. So we have that, I think, April 6th and April 20th. So I can try to put the link in here, and that way you can basically pick 2 majors that you're really interested in. We do different tours like that. So that'll be a little bit more helpful for you guys. And I also give tours too, so you get to see me again.
Yes, our mentors are so active on campus. I always get a lot of joy when I show up on a meeting across campus and I saw Miss McKenna one evening. I've seen Allie one evening. Miss Kanita got bragged on very much in our Monday team meeting. So these are students, Olu, Quadjo. They're tremendous leaders. So please take advantage of getting to know them. All right, Miss Amy Burke, are you on the call?
She is, but I don't know.
Okay.
Did you
Daniel,
guys ask if I was here?
yes. Are you ready?
Okay, no, I am. I'm so sorry. It was like fading in and out for like 10 seconds at a time.
Oh, no problem. I'm gonna let you take it away then.
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Amy, and coming to you live from the Pendleton branch of the Student Financial Aid Office. Everyone working from home. So I will give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what it looks like in our world. I will say that on Wednesday, our office sent out 17,500 emails, award emails to incoming students. And we awarded $193 million in aid on Wednesday. So as you can imagine, when you send out 17,500 emails, you get quite a few responses. So that's been our world for the past few days. Basically, if you, and remind me, these are seniors, right? Coming in as freshmen?
That's correct, Amy.
Okay, that's what I thought, Miss Lisa. Hi, Miss Lisa.
Hey, babe.
So most likely you would have received your email by now because it went out on Wednesday. I know that we were having some students talk with us a little bit about, well, I can't access it because, so you guys were utilizing your applicant portal for the university. If you go into your applicant portal, there's a little section called Next Steps, and you actually have to go in and create your Clemson University username and password. And then you have to sign up for Duo, which is our dual authentication application, just for security purposes. And so a lot of students didn't do that piece. So they made their username and password and tried to log in, and it said, but you're not enrolled. And that freaked people out. You don't have to be enrolled in classes. What they mean is you're not enrolled in Duo, and they just want, it's for safety purposes. So just make sure both of those things are done, and you will be able to log right into your iRoar account and see your financial aid award. For students who may not have received one, maybe you didn't do your FAFSA, or if you did do your FAFSA, maybe you forgot to put Clemson as the federal school code. So I will say, if you did not get something from our office, go and double check and make sure that you did the 21-22 FAFSA. Even if you did and maybe didn't put the federal school code in, you can log in and add the federal school code for Clemson, and then we'll get it within like 5 business days or so, and then be able to make additional awards on your account based on the federal piece from the FAFSA. So all students who did, let's say, go back to the students who did do your FAFSA, you did it by January 2nd, which was our priority deadline. If you are eligible for these funds, they will be on your account right now. You will see a federal Pell Grant, South Carolina Need-Based Grant for in-state students, the federal SEOG, which means Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant, which is why we shorten it to SEOG. You'll have a federal student loan offer or offers, and that will total $5,500. And you will have the federal work study program on there if you indicated on your FAFSA that you were interested in federal work study. For scholarship funding, all of our scholarships have been fully dispersed. Anybody that is getting a scholarship award has been awarded it. We do not send out award notifications until all aid has been fully dispersed. We want to make sure that when we send those out, everything has been down to the last dollar and penny has been absolutely spent from our budget. There was no separate scholarship application, so that's not something you had to worry about or have to worry about moving forward. If you are a scholarship recipient, you just have to make sure that you are meeting those renewal requirements. So for students receiving Clemson University funding, let's say you're out of state and you receive an out-of-state recruiting scholarship, you just need to make sure you have 24 hours and a 3.0 after your first year, and then that will roll automatically to your next year. My in-state students, if you have life or Palmetto fellows, those renewal requirements are 30 hours and a 3.0, and you don't have to remember any of this. It's all on your iRoar account. It's all on our website. So like, don't feel like you have to be writing this down. For those students who maybe didn't check out like I said, if you know you did all of these things and you created your username, you did all these things and you still can't find it, the email that we sent you, make sure that you're looking on the email address you used on your university application. Sometimes you have more than one email address, you can't remember which one you put on there. We sent it to the one that you did when you used when you applied to the university. And I would say double check your spam and junk folder too, just to make sure. What else? I would say if you are interested in looking for additional funding, I know that you have so much time still to make these decisions and plan all this out financially. There's so much to think about, but we do throw out June 15th as a priority deadline. So if students or parents are looking to do an additional loan, either a private educational loan or a Parent Plus loan, those takes a little bit of time to process because we have 20,000 students on campus, right? And 15,000 of them all have loans. So it takes a lot of time for us to sort of wade through all those. That's why we have that June 15th date as our priority deadline. I am looking through, hold on, we've got questions in the chat. All right, what about financial aid for summer two? I'm assuming, Adam, you are admitted for TTSB, Tigertown Summer Bond Program. So what that looks like, and it's weird because we don't send it good. Okay, we don't send that out at the same time we do fall. And I'm not sure why that is. I don't make the rules. But what we will do, because it is limited and we have to wait to see after May 1st who commits, who's coming, right? We will send out aid packages usually in May. I can tell you what's going to be on there. So if you are Pell eligible, because you're taking 6 hours in summer two, if you are Pell eligible, you will receive a prorated Pell award. So we will put that on there as well. Additionally, we will offer you $5,500 in student loans. So those are the two items that you will have on your award for summer through our office. Let's see here. That helped. Where do you see the cost of attendance for that year? Okay, so the cost of attendance at a public school is very interesting because we don't have it yet. How it works as a state school is we have to wait for the state to set their budget. And you may not realize this, but they set their year budget. It's a fiscal year. So it's July to June. So we actually don't have how much the state legislature has to decide how much money they're going to give Clemson University or, everybody, right, in the state. They have to divvy up the pot of money. So we actually don't know how much we're getting from the state until usually early to mid-July. And then the Board of Trustees has to meet and determine what tuition will be for the following year. That was a lot to say that you can use the current year's cost of attendance as a good jumping off framework. If you go to our website, it is, and I'm on my personal laptop, so hold on, I'm not as good as, if I were doing my work thing, I've got like 3 screens, I'd be dropping all over the place, but Clemson.edu.
While you're looking that up, Amy,
yes.
I have some students that attended the Orange Carpet event, and they wanted to know, is there any special, do they get any special funding for that? Or do you know anything about that? And
Yes,
also,
you typically do. I would say if you do not see that on your account, drop us an email.
Okay.
Okay, so first, hold on. This is the cost of attendance website. This is our email address. So to answer those two first.
Okay.
Does that help? Okay.
The second, do you know, can you talk about, let me go, I'm sorry, I messed up when I was asking. Were the scholarship dollars more competitive this year? And what about out-of-state students?
This was the most competitive year we've ever seen. We normally see 26,000 or so applicants to Clemson each year. This year we saw 45,000 applicants to Clemson.
Wow.
45,000. It's almost double. So yes, highly competitive. Students are academic rock stars, right? The university sort of made some strategic decisions based on scholarship dollars to help students access college education. And unfortunately, because this year it's not unfortunate, but it is just what it is with test optional for students who decided to go test optional. That put more weight on their academic performance in high school, because usually we weigh that out between multiple levels of things, right? But with no test score, because they opted for test optional, they weren't able to take a test for whatever reason, COVID being the reason, there was a lot of shift in dynamics and weighting in WEIGHT, weighting those performances. And so just, it was very, very, very competitive. That's perfect. It was. And how much do we see for orange carpet? I actually don't know. So those determinations are actually made through the admissions office. It seems odd, right? But admissions and financial aid work like this right now, even though we didn't decide if you get in, and also we don't decide how much scholarship funding necessarily you're getting, you know what I mean? Because we don't look at your applicant information. So we work with the admissions team, and the admissions team actually determines the orange carpet scholarship funding. And I don't have dollar figures for you, I'm sorry. But if you went to an orange carpet event, email us, the scholarship team will write you back.
Are there
I only had
engineering scholarships, Amy, specific for engineers?
Not necessarily. So yes, there are, but they're through sort of the department. Whatever scholarship, there were some that were, hold on, I have a note here because I was just reading this the other day because I was fascinated. There are there's the CECAS Dean Scholarship, but it's very limited. Like it went to 2 students, right? And we sent 17,500 emails. So 2 of those students, you know what I mean? It wasn't an application, again, not an application process. You didn't do anything wrong. The deans provide the scholarship team with the requirements, and then we have an Excel spreadsheet and we go through and we figure out who meets those requirements. What else? That's really it. Anything that we get is based on, or anything we give is based on donor money basically. And so we have to award it based on their donor agreement, which is a legally binding contract. So there are some years where we have scholarship funds that we are unable to award because no one meets the criteria, and we would be breaking the law if we awarded it to somebody else. And we're like, close enough. And that doesn't happen in engineering. So in your college, that is not a problem. There are no funds that we do not award for your college. I'm thinking personally, there are some forestry scholarships, just much smaller majors that are sort of more niche, right? That I've heard of in the past, but not a problem for this college. We absolutely award every dollar we have.
Thank you. While we have you, can you talk about the enhancement for the engineering students? Is that still something that we do?
Absolutely. So as of right now, the state government says the enhancement is still happening. I say this every year with a big asterisk next to it because at any point the state could reevaluate their budgeting priorities. As of right now, we have the enhancement. So incoming freshmen, you will need to earn 14 hours of math and science credits in approved courses. Y'all, if you are in this college, that is not going to be a problem. You are going to take 14 hours of math and science in your first year. That's not a problem. And then as long as you are, so for everyone in, not necessarily computer science, but if you're in engineering, everybody comes in as Gen Eng, right? You don't make your determination of your engineering field of preference until after the end of your first year. So let's say you get through your first year, you earned your 30 hours, your 3.0, you did your 14 hours of approved math and science coursework, and you and your advisor work together to change your major to chemical engineering or mechanical or whatever your engineering of choice is going to be, which will happen. No worries, you will meet with your advisor. They will do this. That's it. That's all the magic that happens. That's all that needs to happen. And then all of your aid, all of your, so let's say you have life scholarships, you have $5,000 your freshman year, you will come back as a sophomore and you will have $7,500 because there's the $5,000 life scholarship plus $2,500 enhancement. If you are a Palmetto Fellow, you go from $6,700 your freshman year to $10,000 your sophomore, junior, and senior years. And that jump is because for some reason the Palmetto Fellows Award for first-year students is $6,700, but the Palmetto Fellows Awards for sophomore, juniors, and seniors is $7,500. So it jumps from 67 to 10,000 with the enhancement. Does that help?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Do we have any more questions for Miss Amy? She's super.
Miss Lisa, I miss you so much. If you have not like just made best friends with Miss Lisa yet, trust me, you will. It's the best relationship.
I have a question that says, can we apply for scholarships our first year? Are you referring to outside scholarships? Because Clemson, the ones Clemson have, if I'm correct, Amy, are based on what they already turn in from the financial aid.
Yes. So you can apply for all the outside scholarships in the world if you like, anything not through Clemson. Clemson does not have a scholarship application. We review all students automatically. So recruiting scholarships, like the big money, right? Everyone talks about the biggest awards we give are academic recruiting scholarships, and we give those to incoming freshmen. Those are not revisited as sophomores, juniors, and seniors. However, we do review students for smaller awards that are through our office. They're usually about $1,000, average $1,000 a year. They are pretty, like I said, they're fairly limited. I would say that probably 20% of students are walking around on campus with additional money through our office. So like scholarship money through our office. So you're talking, 5% of each class. So it is pretty limited, but it is, I'm sorry, there's a 6-year-old that wants to say hello. Go, I'm working. Turn around, I'm working. He wants to eat batteries. Hold on. Yes, you can open them now, go. I apologize, y'all. Working from home with a kid. So yes, I would say that you do not need to apply at Clemson. There's no way to really apply, right? I would say this, there may be departmental funds. So go to your department and see if they have funding. We technically award it, if that makes sense. We put it on your account, but we don't select the students that receive those funds. They're called department select funds. And so if there is an application process, or if there is an involvement piece, right? You need to be, obviously, if you're in here and WISE, you are going to be involved, but maybe it's also, you need to be a member of the professional organization or whatever that looks like. So I always recommend going to departments and asking the question to see.
Are there any other questions? Kanita put in the chat, guys, about receiving outside scholarships. Kanita, did you want to chime in? Because I think you pretty much got your whole 4 years financially through a lot of scholarships and things. You want to chime in on that?
Yes, ma'am, I can do that. So my 2 biggest ones that I got that are outside are going to be my Reverend Clementa Pinckney one. So that one is actually from like a hometown one. So I think that's basically like the Charleston, Berkeley area. So that's more for like the low country, but that one was a 4-year one as well. And then another important one that I think the deadline already closed for this upcoming one, but it's for the American Chemical Society. So that's for any minorities that are going into like anything chemistry related. So I think usually the application opens up like around January or February. I didn't get that one until my 2nd year, so that's perfectly fine, but they still do it. You can sign up even after your freshman year. And they are also basically 4 years as well. So those are really big ones. Clemson does help out with a lot of the scholarships. A lot of times, like, as long as you're maintaining a good GPA, sometimes, like Miss Amy said, they kind of just pop up, they appear. If you meet the requirements, you just get it from there. And trust me, it is a good surprise when you can check your financial aid and you get extra scholarships. So occasionally you can have like ones, if you're a minority, you can have one, sometimes GPA based off your major, things like that. So those definitely help. But like I said before, having long-term ones are definitely super helpful because you kind of have that consistent amount of scholarship money coming in. I know most people, you kind of just depend on like the one-time ones or local ones that only happen one time. So definitely, I would even start looking now, or, right before your sophomore year, just start looking for scholarships. And most of the ones I found, you just really have to type in online things, like just go to Google. If you're in engineering, if you're in STEM, just anything, it's out there. Even the national ones, like one of mine was a national one, just go out there and try it, see what happens. So those are definitely really big things. Being financially, you know, a little more free while you're in school definitely does help, so you won't have to work. So just think about that, keep that in mind. It helps your parents, it helps, you know, your family. So just keep all that in mind too.
Kanita clearly has found the key to funding her education. If you have two 4-year or 2 renewing scholarships outside, okay, you're like the leader of the pack right now. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Anything you'd like to add, Miss Amy, to our students today?
I would say normally you can come into my office and I have chocolate and tissues. And so it meets whatever need you may be having that day. If you've ever been in my office, it's full of tigers and clutter and it looks like home. So if you feel like coming over and just hanging out one day, I normally offer that. But right now, I mean, you'd have to come to my house and that's weird. So like, probably not. But when we go back in the fall, please, if you guys ever have questions, if you ever are confused, I mean, I have a set alphabet, but I can't tell you how many students that Miss Rita or Miss Lisa just send me, and I just end up adopting some kids, and that's fine, even if you're not in my alphabet. So please, just if you need anything, financial aid is not scary, and we are not bad guys, which is, I jokingly say that we're like maybe one rung up from parking services on campus as far as being well loved, but we try to do our best. So we are friendly. Do not be afraid of our office. Please come in and talk to us.
Thank you so much, Amy. We appreciate you. We love you. Can't wait to get back to see you, because you know I will come over. Students, parents that's on the call, remember Miss Amy Burke. You know, just remember, hey, I talked to Miss Amy Burke doing see Clemson, and you know she will somehow get her connected to you. We always try to do our best with that. Students,
I re-put in, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I re-put in our email address. If you just type Amy in the subject line, it'll come to me.
So put that in your phone, guys. I know you keep your phone with you, so you go ahead and put that in there. And also, Beth Ann is going to talk to you about the post survey, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Miss you guys.
Miss you.
Bye.
Bye.
So for all the parents and students on the call, I hope you can see that when we say Clemson family, we really do mean it. And Miss Lisa really hits on a good point of not only do we take care of your precious babies, right, when you send them off to college, but we help take care of you, the parent or guardian, in your transition, right, to having a young person in college making their way to be successful. We really speak to the success of our students and the care that we give them. It can be really hard. Clemson's a big institution, right? But we take care of our own. So there's some information here. It has Miss Lisa's contact information. So if you want to reach out to her about PWE and get plugged in and connected to peer before you arrive, that's a great way to kind of go ahead and get involved. My contact information is here. And then I put some reminders in the chat that you want to make sure you get that Clemson deposit in, but by June 1st, May 1st there. And then in the chat as well is post survey information. So please take that post survey. It kind of helps us with the college say what we do is really important. So those messages that you give us help us be successful. So in order to better that information for you, please take that survey. And I'm going to hang out here. Miss Lisa's going to hang out here. And we'll be here to answer your questions and connect. So have a phenomenal day. Thank you so much for joining us on your Saturday morning, and go forth, Tigers, and be successful and shine bright.